DJI just dropped 2 teasers for the Osmo Pocket 4, and most of the coverage is treating them like basic marketing filler. They're not. There's actually quite a bit buried in both clips if you know what to look for, and that's exactly what we're breaking down today. First, the confirmed stuff. The Pocket 4 launches globally on April 16, 2026 at 12 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. DJI is posting this across all their socials simultaneously, which strongly points to a worldwide release rather than a staggered China-first rollout. Good news for everyone waiting outside the region. But beyond the launch date, both teasers are quietly hinting at 2 specific capabilities, and one of them has a detail that nobody is really digging into. Stick with me, because the slow motion segment especially has some nuance worth understanding before the hype train gets moving too fast. The first teaser is built around a subtle visual idea, a frame that expands. On the surface, it looks like a design choice, but it's almost certainly hinting at full sensor readout rather than a standard 16:9 crop. Here's why that matters. If the Pocket 4 is capturing a wider slice of the sensor before cropping down to your chosen aspect ratio, you effectively shoot once and reframe later. Horizontal for YouTube, vertical for TikTok or Reels, square if you need it, without losing as much resolution in the process. Now, it's still a 1-inch sensor, so you're not getting complete freedom of movement. Don't expect mirrorless level reframing flexibility, but there should be enough extra frame to comfortably crop for vertical content without the footage falling apart. For creators who are constantly juggling multiple platforms, that workflow improvement is genuinely useful, even if it doesn't make for the flashiest headline.
The second teaser is a clear swing at high frame rate performance. The Pocket 3 already handles slow motion respectably, 4K at 120 FPS and 1080p at 240 FPS. The Pocket 4 is expected to push that ceiling higher, with the number floating around in leaks being 4K at 240 FPS. To be clear, that's from leaks, not anything DJI has officially stated. But the way they're visually framing this teaser does line up with that direction. And the way the second teaser is cut makes it obvious they're not being subtle about slow motion being a key selling point. The more interesting question is what that means for 1080p frame rates, and that's where most coverage just stops without going any deeper. Theoretically has headroom to push 1080p into the 480 FPS range, similar to what we've seen on some higher-end cameras. But here's the honest reality check. Brands don't always unlock everything their hardware is capable of. In a body this compact, heat is a serious constraint. Sustained high frame rates generate a lot of thermal load, and DJI may cap things intentionally to maintain stability and usability. On top of that, if the 4K 240 FPS is using a cropped or line-skipped readout rather than a full sensor read, 1080p might not scale dramatically higher at all, staying somewhere around 240 FPS or modestly above it rather than jumping to extreme numbers. So manage expectations accordingly. The capability might be there. Whether DJI chooses to unlock it is a different conversation entirely.
So that's what the teasers are actually telling us. A wider sensor readout for smarter reframing, and a high frame rate push that could be impressive, or could be more conservative than the leaks suggest, depending on how DJI handles the thermal and processing constraints. Either way, April 16th is right around the corner, and we'll have full coverage the moment the Pocket 4 goes official. If you missed our previous breakdown covering the leaked retail box and full spec rundown, that one is still very much worth your time. Link is in the description. And if this read on the teasers helped you see something you hadn't noticed before, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the launch coverage. What are you most curious about going into the official reveal? The reframing capability or the slow motion specs? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to know.